everybody. Let me know if you can hear me okay through the microphone. Sounds like the guitar's coming through okay. Just drop a comment, let me know what you think. Whoa! Greetings all. Welcome to the live stream today. So, seen a couple of comments. Gianluca, greetings sir. Gabrielle, greetings. Juan, hey Adam, how's it going, man? And Matthias, Ogro, thanks a lot for joining today. I really appreciate that. So YouTube is now telling me that there's a streaming issue. Hopefully it will resolve itself. Showing really good throughput here. Yeah, the bit rate's looking good. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Hopefully you guys are hearing this okay. Great. Anyhow, again, welcome to the live stream. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. What I'd like to do is a few things today. One, obviously, is just to play some acoustic guitar for you, and the reason why I have an acoustic guitar out today is because next Friday, 1 week from today, I'll be releasing the 12th. I can't believe it's 12 already, but the 12th Chords of Orion album, and it is an acoustic guitar forward album. It's called Wood, and it's got 11 tracks on it. I am super excited and stoked to get it out there. So the official release date is June 25th, and it'll be on Bandcamp, on Spotify, on Apple, iTunes, Deezer, all over the place, right? Oh yeah, even Amazon Music. And even some places I'm not aware of, but you know, it's cool. So if you're thinking about me next week, tune in on your favorite streaming service or download on Spotify and check out Wood. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see, we got Eric, Jay Miller, Mike, we got Lizard Jim, we got Darren, we got Owner, those are Russian characters, aren't they? And I'm very sorry I can't read them. Sun Art Music and Matthias Neal. Yeah, great. Thanks for joining, everybody. So let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and play for a minute or two. And one of the tracks on the album is actually an arrangement, there we go, that's the word. An arrangement of Star of the County Down. And I don't remember exactly how I played it on the recording, but I'll just go ahead and play it because here we go. All right, the track on the album is a little cleaner than that. At least cleaner for my messy style of playing. Anyhow, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, let's see. Hey Matt, how's it going? Ryan, Michael Jackson, the baritone sounds great. Yeah, I do like this baritone. It's the, I don't know how many years I've had this. Maybe, woof, I gotta fix this. Hang on. I'm thinking I may have had this for 4 to 5 years. Actually, this was purchased originally by a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine who obviously also plays guitar. It was his first baritone. It's a Taylor 320E is the model, all mahogany. And was talking to him one day and he said, you know, Bill, not really using the baritone very much. And I said, hey, Chris, if you're not using it very much, would you mind lending it to me? Because I'm always up for trying a new baritone guitar. And so I tried it and played it for a little bit. Yeah, I kept it about a month, and I saw him and I said, so, hey dude, how much do you want for that guitar? And there you go. That's how I ended up with it. But I really like it a lot. I wish the scale length was just a little bit longer. It's a 27-inch scale length, which actually for those of you who may not be used to a baritone, that's actually a great scale length to get extended range, but still have it feel kind of like a normal guitar. But I kind of like it closer to 28 inches. But, you know, it's cool. And I really like the tone. I like the Taylor expression system. It's the original one. It's not the newer version, but it still works really well. And you may be wondering... about that delay. Yeah, that's the Empress Echo system, and I've got that set up to the whiskey and tape delay types. So if you're familiar with the Echo system, you probably know that you can run 2 different delay types together. So that's what's going on there. And it's got that whiskey type. It's got that little granular, and you hear the little granules kind of playing, is it an octave above? Yep, it's playing an octave above. And you may also hear a reverb, and that is the New Neighbor Immerse with my personal favorite reverb type on that pedal. That's the Hall. I really, really like the New Neighbor Immerse Hall type. Yeah, Matt's asking, microcosm? Nah, it is the Echo system, but the microcosm would be able to obviously to produce that granularized delay, and even more so than the Echo system. But this is one of the Echo system settings, the whiskey setting. Hawkeye says, what type and size strings? So what I have on this guitar right now are the Elixir baritone strings, and they go from 17 to, I feel like it's 17 to 72, if I remember right. Or is it 16 to 72? Something like that. And what I do, because this guitar is a shorter scale length for a baritone, on the second string, which would normally be the B string on a standard guitar, but it's F sharp on a baritone, I actually take the string out of the set and replace it with a slightly heavier wound string. So the only unwound string I have on this guitar is the first string, which is the B, the high B string. I think it gives it a better beefier tone on that F sharp string. And you know, I'm not concerned about bending strings on a baritone. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, 27-inch acoustic, that's right. And Adam, sounds beautiful, messy. I bought In the Wilderness. Oh, you bought In the Wilderness. Oh, thanks, Adam. So Adam's a buddy of mine. He hangs out a lot here on the channel and on the Facebook page. So I really appreciate Adam a lot. And he's saying he bought In the Wilderness. That is actually my last acoustic guitar album. I released it in 2008. And I released it under my name, Bill Vencil. It actually is on Spotify and on Bandcamp if you're interested. And that was a fun one. And that was actually one of the projects that I did that got me back into regular recording, which eventually led to Chords of Orion. Let's see. Good sound, very okay mic, etc. Yeah, this mic, I wouldn't necessarily use this mic. This is an Electro Voice Cardinal. If I were just recording acoustic, I would use a matched pair of small diaphragm condenser mics, which I don't have them sitting close by, but I would use a matched pair to do stereo recording. But since I've got the voiceover, you know, it's cool. You get a little bleed from the mic in addition to the electric tone. Oh, can't find my way home. Yeah, how's that one go? I don't remember how that one goes. I might have known it once upon a time. Way, way, way back in the day, but I'm not going to try to play it now. Is there such a thing as an affordable acoustic baritone? Well, I don't know. It depends on what your definition of affordable is. Obviously, everyone has a different budget level. Alvarez Yairi typically has a pretty affordable baritone. I've never played it, so I can't vouch for how well it's built or how well it sounds. So let's see, got a couple of other things. Good sound, very okay. Oh, your fingering reminds me of Leo Kottke. Yeah, I do like Leo Kottke, and I would say that there's definitely some influence there. The other, in terms of some of the more rhythmic type of picking I do, I would say, in addition to Kottke, Bruce Coburn. Even though he is a singer-songwriter, he's a really great guitarist, and he plays fingerstyle and has a very percussive style of picking. And although I didn't study his, kind of style in depth, I think just from years of listening to and enjoying his music, I kind of absorbed it and picked up some of those characteristics. Eric says, what's my new favorite pedal? I think of the newer pedals that I've demoed on the channel, I think I'll say the funnest one that I've used is the Microcosm. That's a really cool pedal. I feel like I'm still kind of digging into the depths of it. So I don't know if that qualifies as my new favorite pedal, my current favorite pedal. The old standbys that comprise kind of the core of my setup have not really changed. That would include I know they're not cheap, but I really love the Strymon pedals, the Compadre, the Riverside, and the Iridium. I kind of view that as the front end of my quote. It's amp, right? It's an amp modeler, of course, but that's the compressor, the overdrive, and the actual amp modeling. It's kind of the front line of my setup. You could do it with other modeling pedals, but I really like those Strymon pedals, so I continue to use them. Let's see, Matt says, when you're improvising, composing, are you thinking about music theory, or is it completely spontaneous and you only use your feels, ears? That's a great question, Matt. So I would say maybe it's a combination. I do tend to be very improvisatory, but I do know things like, from taking music theory from way back when I was in college, I do know that's a 1, and that's a flat 7 over the root, the 1, so those kind of music theory basics are very helpful when I'm trying to think, when I'm maybe improvising and thinking, okay, where am I going to go after I go from the flat 7? Oh, maybe I'll go up to the 4. Major 3rd, root, 7, perfect 5th, flat 5th, tritone, of course, minor 3rd, root. Some of those music theory basics, if you can get them in your head, are really helpful when you're playing and you just want to kind of be in the moment and kind of feel things. If you've committed that stuff to memory, it's just kind of there and you don't need to consciously think about it so much. All right, let's see. What else we got going on here? What are your thoughts on Robert Fripp's solo soundscapes? And who is your favorite classical composer? That's Gunstar 1. Oh, my thoughts on Robert Fripp's solo soundscapes they're awesome. And certainly I wouldn't say his newer soundscapes, but the old school Frippertronics that he used to do were very influential to me personally when I first heard them. In particular, I think it was 1978 or 79, if I recall, Robert Fripp released an album called Exposure, and he had Peter Gabriel come on and do an arrangement of Gabriel's song, Here Comes the Flood, and Fripp played Frippertronics behind Peter Gabriel singing and playing piano, and it blew my mind and kind of changed things forever for me in terms of thinking texturally about guitar. So, yeah, love Mr. Fripp. I don't feel like I play guitar like Fripp. I also don't really go for his tone, his distorted tone in particular. It's not my favorite tone. And I say that with all due respect, Mr. Fripp, if you're listening. He's not, but you know what I mean? It works for him, but I actually prefer a different tone, a little more like Alan Holdsworth, a little more mid-range focused. Let's see, I lost my... Oh yeah, the other part of that question was, who's your favorite composer? So that's a hard question to answer for me. Let me give you a couple that I really do like, more modern composers. One is Aaron Copland. And again, when I was in college, long ago, I studied several of his pieces in depth. It was part of the thing you did in music theory in college, right? You get the score, and then you do a score analysis. And it really, really opened my eyes to his use of polytonality, which does not typically sound very dissonant. It's very beautiful and kind of very, just very beautiful textures and chords, but it is polyphony, for example, at the beginning of Appalachian Spring. The other more modern composer that I really like, I'd say that really influenced me, is Charles Ives. And he was born in the late 19th century and died in 1954, if I recall. And he wrote some very avant-garde music. He was an American, wrote some very avant-garde music in the early 20th century that I love. And I would commend a piece to you if you ever get a chance to listen to it. It's called Three Places in New England. And the last movement, which is called the Housatonic at Stockbridge, it's the Housatonic River in the town of Stockbridge, is one of the pieces that I think were also instrumental in me in terms of understanding what ambient music is all about. So Charles Ives, Aaron Copland, there are many more. Of course, Bach, of course, Vivaldi, of course, any Renaissance music. There's all kinds of composers like that I really enjoy. Can you play us a new song from your record? Well, I did. I just did the Star from the County Down. So most of those pieces are improvised. So I'd actually have to go back and learn some of them, which would be cool. That's great. But I'm not sure I could just kind of rip through the album off the top of my head. Pat Metheny tone. Yeah, so Pat Metheny, as you may know, back in the day, did an album with a baritone acoustic guitar, and it's pretty fabulous. Matthias says or asks, do you get help on the production of your albums, or do you do all by yourself? The answer is right now I'm doing it all by myself. If I can get to the point where I'm generating a little more income from the streaming revenue and album sales itself, I would like to keep control of the recording and the mix, but I think it would be a lot of fun to send an album out to a dedicated mastering engineer and see what they could do with the albums. But for right now, I am doing it all myself. It's been a really interesting learning process for me, in particular the mastering process. Let's see. I always say music starts in 1890. Church of the Holy Mo. I personally prefer things after Impressionism. Yeah, that's an interesting comment. I'm not big into the romantic period of, quote, classical music. So it's not really my cup of tea. I respect the composers and certainly the performers, but just for listening and enjoyment, I prefer either older or newer. Eric says Tacoma Road King is in the thumbnail, right? No, actually, it's the Tacoma. You had the make right. It's the Tacoma Thunderhawk, and it too is a baritone guitar. I got it back in 2002 or 2003. And by the way, I meant to do this earlier. A little plug for the album. Here's the album cover for Wood. And that guitar top you're seeing is my Loudon 035. So yeah, I really like that guitar top. Anyhow, let's see. So yeah, that's the Thunderhawk baritone, and I still have it, and I still play it, and I still love it. And it is a 29-inch scale length, so it does require you to think about playing it a little bit differently. And I do down tune it so that the low string is typically a low G, which would be the G right above the low E on standard bass tuning. So it's way, way down in the dungeon, which I really like a lot. You can do a lot with that guitar. All right, let's see. While learning music theory, memorizing positions, what was your approach on using them musically? Did you ever feel uninspired, feeling you were sounding like the scale triad and not music? That's from Saranch. Yeah, so I am not a very disciplined player in terms of scales. So, you know, I can play scales, but I don't focus on scales. I focus on music when I play, if that makes sense. I never just play scales. If I'm gonna try a particular scale or a particular technique, I'll typically practice it in the context of an actual song. And I think part of it's just me. I get really bored with just bare exercises. So I prefer to be always playing what sounds musical to me. Hopefully that makes sense. Artem says, hey man, do you have all the wet effects on the pickup of the guitar right now? That is correct. So, I don't know if you can see it here. There's my plug there for the guitar pickup. But because I have this microphone here, it's obviously bleeding into the mic for a standard guitar tone. Yeah, let's see. I gotta learn how to see better here. Solive20 says, are you interested in Indian classic music? This ragas with a single drone sound talking about scales, it must be interesting to uncover. I do actually like Indian classical music. When I was a kid, so this would have been back in the 70s, Ravi Shankar released a book called My Music, My Life. And he had a lot of information about the basics of Indian classical music. And of course, I'm old enough that the Beatles were still very much popular when I was transitioning from pre-adolescence into teenagehood, right? So used to hear George Harrison playing sitar a lot, and so that was very influential to me. But I wouldn't say that I can play classical Indian music. It's more a general inspiration for me. Let's see here. Will you make a video featuring the Electro-Harmonix freeze pedal? Well, I have had a couple of requests for that recently, so it's not a pedal that I would probably go out and purchase for my own use, because I have other pedals that kind of do the freeze thing. But I could reach out to my contact at Electro-Harmonix and see if they would send me a demo unit. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the way that works, at least for me, the pedals that I demo and use here on the channel are a combination of pedals that I purchase and pedals that manufacturers will send to me. And I try to make sure I mark them as a promotional on YouTube when I do feature a pedal like that. I typically do not accept payment because I don't want to go into a contractual arrangement with these pedal manufacturers. I'd rather have it be more informal. That way, if I really dislike the pedal, I can just say, hey, I'm sending it back, or what do you want to do? I'm not going to demo this pedal. And that way, if I do like the pedal, I still have some freedom to make some comments about it if I wish. So I just happen to have the TC Electronic Mimic on my desk right now. And that was a pedal that TC Electronics sent me. I don't even remember what year, but I know that I did not purchase this. They sent it free of charge, and I did a demo of it. But it's a cool pedal, so I actually do use it from time to time, and that's why it's on the desk. I was using it for recording. Sorry, I got off on a tangent there, but back to the Electro Harmonix freeze pedal. So yeah, let me reach out to Electro Harmonix and see if they'll send a demo unit. And then maybe I can do a comparison between that and, for example, the Game Changer Plus pedal, which last week I think it was, I posted a video of a piece that I used that pedal on. Let's see, what is the name of the reverb sounding? This one? Yeah, so again, if you weren't on the live stream earlier, I'm using two pedals. One is actually three pedals. One is the Strymon Compadre compressor on the guitar pickup side of this, just to squish down the dynamic range. That's going into an Empress echo system. That's the delay that you're hearing. Right, and it's using the whiskey and the tape delay, and then the actual reverb is the New Neighbor Immerse, and it's the Hall type reverb. Let's see. Focus on music. You focus on music. Yeah. Personal question. Let me answer another question or two, then I'll play some more for you guys. Personal question: is religion a big part of your connection with introspective meditative music? If so, was it always that way? Well, yes, religion is a big part of my life. Some of you may know that I follow what I call the historic Christian faith. So that would be the Christianity as it's described in the actual Bible, and Christianity that is not connected to politics or government or being in power. You know, I follow Jesus Christ's teaching, which is essentially love the Lord your God and love your neighbor as yourself. It's pretty simple, it's straightforward, but it's really hard to do if you want to live consistently with it. But in terms of music, yeah, I do find it inspirational because I believe, as I've said on several videos, that God has created us humans in His image. Therefore, just as He is creative, we're given the gift of human-level creativity. I think artistic expression is part of that creativity. So that piece, there's another video on the channel of me doing something like that. But again, I don't know exactly what I did on that piece. So the back to some of the earlier questions, you know, do you think about music theory or do you structure things? So this piece would have been... That's kind of the core of the piece, right? So I didn't know I was going to play that before I started playing it just a moment ago, but once I started, I knew that much of it, and then I kind of improvised the rest. And this is where, you know, if you're a person that likes to explicitly study chords and scales, I think it's great and you should. But however you do it, this is where kind of learning relationships of string values can really come in handy as you're playing. You know, I know that all of those, you know, all of these intervals can be put together to create an improvised piece around this motif. Okay, so that's kind of how I think about things. All right, a couple more questions, then I'll play some more. All right. So I already did the religion thing, so we'll leave that one go. Really enjoy your comment. Have ever played live for medium, big audiences? Yes, I have. It's been a while since I've played for a larger audience. So by larger audience, if you're thinking hundreds of people, yeah, I've done that back in my old band days. We did not have many large gigs. They were mostly bars and clubs. So you may have 50 to 100 people show up, if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, you have 10 people or 5 people show up, right? Those of you who've played in bars and clubs, let me know if you can relate to that, right? But we did get to do several larger gigs, and one of them had well over 1,000 people, and that was pretty fun. That was really cool. It was in a big venue. It was in a venue that could probably hold 3,000 people. I also, when I was actually in high school, I had the opportunity to play on stage with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, and believe it or not, I was playing electric bass. It was a piece, I can't remember the piece now, but it was a piece that had a full orchestra part with a jazz quartet, and I was part of the jazz quartet because I played in a jazz ensemble when I was in high school. And our jazz teacher had connections with the symphony, so that was kind of cool. But I do have a lot of speaking experience too, and some of that is in front of some fairly large audiences, both professionally on my day job and otherwise. Playing in front of a big audience is kind of interesting because you feel a little more disconnected. Typically there's a lot of light shining in on the stage, and you can't always see the people in the audience. So I actually feel a little more disconnected than, say, a bar or a club or someplace where maybe there's 100 people and you can really see everybody. All right. Man, this sounds great. Oh, somebody's listening with headphones. Thank you. That's awesome. If you're not listening on headphones, this is in stereo. And it's definitely worth listening in stereo. Let's see. What tuning are you in right now? Great question. So anyhow, somebody asked about a pickup. What is that pickup? It's the Taylor expression system that comes with this guitar. I don't think I missed anything here. And then, oh, here we go. Soundscapes. Do you almost always prefer to start with natural strings and effects, or do you at times like to create with synthesis? I use both, actually. And a lot of times I'll create a bed of soundscape with a guitar, and then in the mix I'll add synthesizer. That's pretty common for what I do. And what tuning am I in right now? I knew somebody was going to ask. So again, this is a baritone. It is tuned in what I call baritone standard. So it's B, E, A, D, F sharp, B. And as you can see, I have two capos. This capo, hopefully you can still see it. There we go. Two capos. This capo is a full capo across all 6 strings. So I'm actually raising everything to C sharp instead of B to B. And then this capo on the 4th fret is a partial capo, and it covers strings 3, 4, and 5, and it gives you a dadgad kind of tuning interval. It's not exactly dadgad because if you're playing, say, I don't know, if you're playing a bar minor chord, you know, that's standard, you know, this, you would be playing, you know, in standard guitar tuning, right? That would be what is that? That would be an E minor, right? Yeah, sorry, forgot what fret I was on. That would be an E minor, right? So this is a B minor in baritone, but it's just a standard, you know, minor bar chord. But when you're playing open strings, you're much more closer to that dadgad feel. All right, let me play for a couple more minutes, and then a couple more questions coming up, and then I'll answer. Here we go. How about something in... I had no idea what I was doing on that, but yeah, it was fun. Oh, Billing Tano says, what do you do for a day job? I'm an IT consultant. Been doing that for a long time. It pays the bills. And I used to be able to write a lot of code and sit in a dark room, stare at a screen, and listen to a lot of music. You know, and I kind of wish that that phase of my life was kind of over at this point, but you know, it's not. And the reality is, I'm really thankful for the job that I've had all these years, the career that I've had. Because it's provided for my family. I'm looking at the comments. Oh, Ziab says, reminds me of Anthony Phillips. Very nice. Somebody else knows about Anthony Phillips. If anybody else knows about Anthony Phillips, drop a comment in the chat and see if you know what band he played in. And if you're really familiar with Anthony Phillips, what's your favorite Anthony Phillips album? Sargasso C, John Abercrombie, Ralph Towner, please comment. One word, awesome. Ralph Towner, John Abercrombie, they rock. If you guys have not heard of Ralph Towner, Towner, you need to check out his album from the 1970s called Solstice, I believe it's called. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. It's the one with the black cover and the kind of bluish tree in the middle. That thing is amazing. John Abercrombie was kind of an ambient textural guitarist from way back when. A lot of great stuff he did too. Yeah, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Don't use main chords are dangerous for your style and for all... Oh, like a... Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that. I do if I have to, if I'm accompanying someone and that's what they need, then you do what the song requires, right? Saranch says, when did I learn music? My mom and dad are very musical. My mom plays piano and my father has a fabulous tenor voice. They're both still around. They're 86. And my mother is a great pianist at 86. And my father can still sing, and he rocks when he sings. It's kind of amazing. So I learned early on from them. In elementary school, I started with flute. Yeah, flute. And then when I was about 13-ish, 12 to 13, that's when I started with guitar. Somebody wants me to tell stories. Anybody here? Okay, I got a story here. And then I'll answer some more questions. Oh, by the way, before I tell the story, for those of you who may have joined, new album next Friday. It's called Wood. There you go. And it's all acoustic for me, acoustic-ish. And I'm really looking forward to the release Friday, June 25th. By the way, in the description of this live stream, there's a link to a Spotify pre-save campaign that I'm doing. So if you are a Spotify user, if you want to go ahead and pre-save the album, go ahead and do so. And I've got a little bonus for you. The bonus is I've got a free download from the album. The tune is called Surprised by Joy. So if you do the Spotify pre-save, you can download that tune. It's an MP3. You can go ahead and download that now and get that early. And if you're not a Spotify user, all you need to do is go to the campaign, the link, and just toss in your email address instead of the Spotify link, and then you can get Surprised by Joy also. Let me turn off the... There we go. Oh yeah, the story I was going to tell. When I played in the progressive rock band back in the day, we had a full PA system. So occasionally, people would ask to use our PA system, and they would typically hire us, typically me, to run the sound. Yeah, that's not bad. I can make $100 in an evening. Not bad. And here's the cool thing. I got to run sound for two pretty cool, sweet shows. Somebody local was bringing in Alan Holdsworth and his band, and this was way back in the day, early 80s, needed a PA system, so we used our PA system, and I was not the main sound engineer, but I helped mix an Alan Holdsworth show. That was really cool. The other story that's worth telling, that's a little more related to kind of experimental ambient guitar music, is the old band called Gong. The guy that ran the band was David Allen, and he actually came to our area, and the guy who was promoting it called me up and said, "Hey, would you run sound for David Allen?" I said, "Sure." So I got to see David Allen way back in the day, and he died a long time ago, but it was a cool show. Very avant-garde. Poetry. Crazy whispering echo sounds. All the stuff I like. Yeah, cool. Okay. You guys got me monologuing here. Wait a minute. I've just been monologuing the whole time. All right, so I did see a question, day job, when I learn music. Yeah, somebody asked about building pedals or amps. I did do a couple of electronic gear builds way back in the day. I built a couple of rack mount compressors. There were kits available, but nothing recent. And I don't have enough time to learn the frameworks to like build plugins or anything like that. It's just I have enough time to play and use them, not to make them. Let's see. Hi, I need help. David, we all need help. I'm starting with the ambient music and I want to buy a reverb. My options: Empress, Ventris, Collider, Immerse, Mark II. Oh, all fine choices. How do you choose amongst an embarrassment of riches like that? Reverb riches. I would say determine what features you're looking for. And there is a bit of a price range that is in there too, right? The New Neighbor Immerse is cheaper than the Source Audio Ventris. So think about what kinds of reverb sounds you're looking for. Are you looking for this wonderful hall sound? Yeah. Then you might want the New Neighbor Immerse. But if you're looking for other types of reverbs, you may decide that the Ventris is a better choice, or the Empress reverb. The Collider is kind of cool because you can do 2 reverbs or 2 delays at the same time. So I think it's all about thinking about what features are important to you. We've all had our integration test email moment. Oh yes. Oh yes. For you other geeks out there, absolutely. Gosh, where was I? Sorry, I lost my... Go. There we go. What's your favorite programming? Oh man, are we gonna start talking about techie stuff? All right. C#. Signal chain. Okay, so for you folks that may have showed up later in the live stream, signal chain is the guitar, and you're hearing bleed through into my mic here. And the guitar pickup is going through a Strymon Compadre compressor into an Empress echo system with the whiskey and tape delay into the New Neighbor Immerse hall type reverb directly into the computer from there. Do you think about collaborating with other artists? I do from time to time, but there is a time issue. It takes a lot of additional effort to collaborate. So if you look on the channel, you'll see a couple of collaborations. Like I've done a couple with Perry Frank and Antoine Michaud, and I've really enjoyed those. In particular, the last one I did with Perry Frank, the piece that he put together to collaborate with was fabulous. He sent that over for me to kind of add on, and as I was listening to the piece, I started drifting off, and my mind went to another dimension. Thinking about the beauty of what he was doing. So yeah, really, sorry, I got lost. I'm going to have to pull that one back up. It was a really good piece. But as far as seeking collaborations, it's a lot of extra time. I would love to do more when I have a little bit more to do that. Let's see. Geese and the Ghost. There you go. Favorite Anthony Phillips. That's mine too. Ingo from Germany, greetings. Roy says, do you like the band Hammock? Oh, of course I like the band Hammock. They're great. They're one of the bands that I like to support by not only listening on streaming, but I also I used to buy the CDs, but now I just make sure I buy the download off of Bandcamp whenever they do a release. There's several groups that I really love to support that way, in addition to, listening to their music on streaming platforms. Also, I hear links with Brittany, Celtic French player Dan Arbraz, Atmosphere. I'm not familiar with Dan, so I believe you, but I'm not. That's a new one. I'm going to have to go look up Dan. You probably know of Simon Jeffs and his Penguin Cafe Orchestra. I do know of him. To be honest, I'm not real familiar with Penguin Cafe Orchestra, other than knowing about them and probably hearing a piece or two over the years. Private Parts and Pieces, also Anthony Phillips. Yeah, that's good. All right, here's a question. How did you motivate your children to study music? How did it go? Some of you know I have a large family. I'm getting ready to say the number. I have 7 children. My oldest, he's a son, plays a little bit of guitar, but it's kind of punk rock and roll style guitar, and he hasn't played for many years. I have a daughter who plays violin. She's very good. If you've been hanging on my channel, you've seen my son Nathan, or Nate. He plays bass. And that's it. The other ones do other things. So I never made it a goal to try and make sure all the kids studied music. I think they really need to pursue their own passions. Have I released any Frippertronics albums? No, I've not released a dedicated Frippertronics album, but if you listen across the swath of Chords of Orion albums, you'll hear lots of Frippertronics. Whoops. Do I still play the flute? Barely. The closest I've gotten to on this channel was Frippertronics Soprano Recorder. It was pitch shifted. Look it up. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, this live stream will post as a regular video, by the way. somebody mention Steve Tibbetts. If you haven't listened to Steve Tibbetts, you got to check him out. Especially his album, I pronounce it Year or Yer, Y-R. Look it up, Steve Tibbetts Yer. It's incredible. Just joined recently, another quick plug for the new album coming up next week, Wood. And what I'm playing is kind of like a piece on the album. Except for that. That's not on the album. There we go. You guys ever practice with your eyes closed? If you don't, you should. I actually did a video, some of you, if you've been hanging around, you might remember I did a video where I encouraged people to practice blindfolded. I think it's a really good thing to do, maybe not every day, but to, if you can't keep your eyes closed, blindfold yourself and try to play. Think of all the amazing players who have been blind, who don't have the privilege, if you will, of sight, and they learn how to play incredibly well. I mean, those of us who are sighted, we can learn from them and benefit in our playing by learning how to play without depending on looking at what we're doing. It frees you up. It really frees you up to kind of just be in the moment and not be worrying about a lot of things. Except when you hit a note like that. I don't know. Drop a comment in the chat. Let me know what you think about that. Let me catch up here on any comments or questions. So I've got a couple questions about, do I like stuff? Well, would I ever try to get a full family set together? I have talked to my daughter about coming on to do some violin. And if she does, I'm pretty sure I can maybe strong arm my son Nate into coming back on. All right. Do I like Barclay James Harvest? I don't know. I'm not familiar. Do I prefer analog or digital effects? I don't really have a preference. What I'm interested in is a type of tone, and then what kind of pedal will produce that type of tone. I don't really care about how it's produced. Let's see. Do I need a very expensive guitar to produce the sound you are producing now? It's a good question. I don't think you need one that's thousands and thousands of dollars. You know, like multiple thousands. There's probably a lower limit, dollar limit. I think in dollars, right? Because I'm in the US. I'm not quite sure what that would be, but you would want to get this sound, you would want a baritone, so you can tune it down low, and you'd want to get a good internal pickup. And I think you would want to go ahead and play the guitar before you made a decision, or either if you have to buy online, make sure you can send it back if you don't like it. That's normally how I buy guitars, because I'm not near any music store at all. I'm like 2 hours away from the closest real music store. So I typically buy online, but I always check out the return policy. And sometimes when I'm ordering, I'll even order 2 guitars, and I'll ask the person I'm ordering from, hey, can I order 2 guitars? And then send back the one that I don't like. And they're usually like, yeah, sure, go ahead. But make sure you get one that you like the sound of before you try to add effects in. French Fripp, no. I'm not familiar with the French Fripp. Have I messed with any of those acoustic guitar IRs? I have a little bit. I've got a couple of videos on the channel, in particular with Nux devices. You know, and they're kind of cool. I think they could be helpful, but I don't think they're a replacement for a good sounding acoustic guitar. Do I play prepared guitar? You mean like this? No. I do like Fred Frith, but I don't play prepared guitar. I might have just got my guitar out of tune. That's close enough. Whatever. Okay. it's like there's some pieces like that. How many of you guys flat pick? Flat pick. There's a rhythm. Once you get into the rhythm, it's almost, it kind of carries you along. If you don't flat pick like that, I would highly recommend learning a little bit about flat picking. There's this pulse and rhythm that it's just Anyhow, I'm just blathering away, but you know what I mean. It's good stuff, right? Let's see, what have we got going on? Hi, Bill, can you talk about your role in your local church? Do you play guitar there? Yeah, I don't want to make this like a religious, live stream or anything, but sure. I have not since COVID hit, but normally I play guitar in church. And our church is an old, crusty, rusty Presbyterian church. And we do all traditional hymns, pretty much, with a few newer songs. So I just play acoustic guitar with a piano. It's really quite simple. I don't do the worship band thing. I guess it's not really my style, which sounds ironic, doesn't it? But it's not. At least not for a corporate religious service, if that makes sense. If it's a concert, then sure. Let's see, what else? Are you the guy who made me impulse buy a Canyon delay pedal? Well, I don't know. Maybe. I do like the Canyon, although I like the Grand Canyon better. That is a fabulous pedal. Yeah, the Grand Canyon is a really, really great pedal. Yeah. All right. This could only roll his local church. Yep. Okay. What is my tuning? Yeah, once again, my tuning is what I call baritone standard. It's a low B, E, A, D, F sharp, and a B. And then I've got a capo on the second fret, so that raises everything to C sharp to C sharp. And then I have a partial capo on the third, fourth, and fifth strings to create that dadgad type of tuning. Yeah. All right, I've been doing this for almost half an hour. What say let's play another song here, and then we'll wrap up. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them, comments or whatever. Here's my little plug for the new album coming next Friday. And again, I'm doing a Spotify pre-save campaign with a free download of one of the tracks of the album. The track is called Surprised by Joy. And you can just click on the link in this live stream video description and sign up there. And you don't have to be a Spotify user. If you can't pre-save on Spotify, that's cool. Just throw in your email address and you'll go right to the download page where you can grab Surprised by Joy. Let's try, so Let's try this. This is going to be a crazy one here. Yeah. Do you catch what I was doing there with the two capos? I'm actually playing behind the capo. You can get some really interesting chord voicings when you do that. Oh wow, there's a lot down here. I should have scrolled. Sorry about that. Let's see. What reverb? That's a new neighbor immerse. Do I ever play slide? No, I do not. I mean, I have a slide, but I never use it. I like good slide players. Don't get me wrong. It's just not something that I'm personally into. What do you think of the Fender Princeton Reverb amp and reverb? Fender Princeton Reverb? It's cool. Yeah. I'm actually a big fan of the old Fender Deluxe reverbs. I had one. I had a 70s vintage Deluxe reverb that I played for a number of years. It was really good. Probably a little too loud for me now. I like the amp modeling paradigm allows you to get your tone at whatever volume you would like. Let's see. Ethan says, "Hi, dude. I'd like to get into some ambient guitar. Are there any easy ambient songs to play?" Well, Ethan, what I would suggest starting with, if you've got a capacity of creating a loop, I would suggest starting a loop on a low single note, like say a low E, if you're standard guitar tuning. And then try playing solos and chords on top of that, but play very slowly and non-loudly. I think that's a good way to kind of get into a groove with more ambient playing, which by the way, ambient guitar is not really a style, is it? It's more of a sensibility of playing guitar. Matt says, is the album instrumental? Yes, it is. I mean, I occasionally will sing. I did a little singing on my earlier albums, but I think people tend to prefer the instrumental, right? Like I could sing on this one. I feel no more. I feel no more. You know, that song actually has some lyrics. It's actually a poem by John Donne, but I think most people for Chords of Orion prefer instrumentals, so that's what I'm sticking with. Let's see, what else we got going here? Hey, didn't you play the finishing theme? Guessing here. I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe I'll play it again, right? I missed all these questions going on. What kind of acoustic? It's a Taylor baritone. Surprised by Joy, huh? Do you find creative music inspiration in literary sources, or was the name too cool to pass up? Either way, very cool. Yeah, Surprised by Joy. Yes, you know about that. And if you look at Chords of Orion titles, the vast majority of them are lines from poems. In particular, John Donne and William Wordsworth, two of my favorites. Let's see. Whoa, that's kind of cool. You can make noises by just talking into your guitar. All right. Oh, I got somebody asking me for more singing. All right. Yeah. I'll sing a little snippet of a song. And the reason why I'll do this one is because it's in 11/8. It's in an odd meter, and if you don't play in odd meters, I recommend learning a little bit about playing odd meters. So you can hear the pulse there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. A joyful day for the Lord, and the people, two of his own, washed in his precious blood, now become one. To love and be loved, to sound the depths of human experience. Life is valuable because of its source. Man and God's That's a snippet from a song. Actually, it was a song that I did in the old band. It's called The Wedding Song, or it's called A Wedding Song. And actually, I've had the privilege of singing it at almost all the weddings of my married children. There's 5 married children. But if you learn how to play in 11/8, then you learn how to sing. What a celebration of God's love to give himself for us, his bride. We are cleansed, we are pure through Christ. Let us... Sorry, this has religious connotations. I know, not everybody is. Christ, let us celebrate life on such a joyful day as this. Yeah, so that's kind of a fun song to do. And when you do it in a standard guitar, it's actually an E major. And this is not, this is a C sharp major, add 9. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah, if you've got a split capo, try this. I'm telling you, once you get your mind wrapped around it, it's really, really cool. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you one more plug for the album, and then I'm going to go ahead and play, and then we're gonna close down the live stream. I'm going to go ahead and play that one tune again with this capo setup, and we'll see how it goes this time. Here we go. Here's the chorus coming up. I feel no more. I feel no more. There's a lot of people fearing right now, right? For the last year and a half. But John Donne wrote a really amazing poem from that has that line in it. It's called Hymn to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. No, I'm sorry, it's called Hymn to the God the Father. Yeah, and this is one of his religious hymns, or poems. It's not one of his erotic poems, which he has many, but this, I think it's got a good message for us today about not fearing. All right, guys. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me on this live stream. Again, you know, yeah, I'm marketing the album coming up next week and all that good stuff. But I do want to let you know that I really, really, really appreciate the community that's kind of grown up around Chords of Orion. You guys have been a great blessing to me in my life, in particular as a musician. It's just so fun to have a lot of like-minded people hanging out, contributing through comments and sharing knowledge and just enjoying music together. So if you're a musician, guitarist, or other instrumentalist, I wish you all the well in your artistic endeavors. And if you ever want to talk about specific things, shoot me an email or drop me a DM on Facebook, on my Facebook page, or on Instagram or whatever. And people ask me questions all the time, and I do try to answer as many as possible. So feel free to reach out and let's talk about some music, because it's where it's at, right? Right. With that, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I wish you all a great rest of the day. It's Friday, or even perhaps early Saturday, depending on where you are in the world. So have a great weekend, and I love all you guys. Thanks a lot.